in Islington for a really important campaign that BoxWise Queensberry have put together, essentially to keep the kids here training over Christmas, the festive period, where normally people stop training, but to keep these kids active and healthy over Christmas and something to do during that time. I'm sure you can appreciate what they're doing, Lawrence.
Yeah, no, definitely. And they've got a lot of energy, so it's good that they're using it in the boxing gym. I think they must have done a 20-minute round, all intensity, all guns blazing. So, yeah, good that they're using it in the right way.
You grew up in Hackney, right?
Yes.
So where something's been set up like this for the youth, from your perspective, growing up in a borough in London, how important is that?
No, it's extremely important. As I said, and as we all know, if you're not doing something positive, something negative might get your eye. You know, when you're young, you got your friends running around, full of energy. It's either mischief if your hands are idle. So yeah, good for them.
And that's the beauty of sport, right? One of these campaigns can produce a future world champion. You
No,
just
it's a
never know.
fact. Yeah, that's it. You just never know. Every time I come to a gym and I see the kids working out and boxing and stuff like that, I always wonder which one of them is going to be the one that um, blossoms. And I don't even like taking pictures with them anymore. Because I remember I took a picture with like Moses Atalma, and he was like this tall under my arm. And then all of a sudden, next time I see him 2 years later, he was same size as me, and now he's maybe even a bit bigger.
I'm sure some of the kids have come up to you and asked for a bit of advice. If there's one bit of advice you could give them, what would it be?
I'd just be consistent. I think be consistent and believe in yourself. If I can tie them together, so I think that if you believe in yourself, it'll give you motivation to be consistent. And when you're consistent, you're going to get results.
Well, listen, it's a big week for yourself. It's your Queensberry debut, your heavyweight debut. It's a new beginning, new chapter for Lawrence Okolie. Just want to actually pull this up. This is possibly the most awkward face-off I've ever seen. So this was at the launch presser. Just talk me through this, Lawrence. Like, what's going on here?
I think we were asked to do two.
Oh, you were asked to do two?
Yeah, 2 or 3 different face-offs. But also, he was trying to half. I don't know, it's such subtle things, like little elbow on my stomach and stuff like that. But there's nothing too much to it. I think I would know to and hold firm on the fist bump if we're going to touch. I don't really like to shake hands before a fight, before the weigh-in anyway, but we'll see.
What are you actually expecting from him this Saturday?
I expect him to come all guns blazing for the first few rounds. I expect me to have to show some boxing skills, some movement, some good, cleverly placed shots, and then take over. But for the first bit, definitely, I think one thing when I watch his fights, he goes for it. He lets off 2, 3, 4 punch combinations. He's a big guy, so you got to respect it.
I guess he's thinking, look, Lawrence thinks he can just come up to heavyweight, blow me out. I'll show him what's up, basically.
100%. I think that's what most heavyweights are going to think, because they remember last year I was somehow making 90 kilos. I think we'll see.
When you do let those big bombs go off at heavyweight, it's just problems for everyone, right?
Yeah, like I said, if I can translate what I've been doing in the gym to this fight night and keep building on it 100%, and I'm trying to keep reminding myself, you know how to box, Lawrence. Because now as a heavyweight, when I'm getting in there and I see these big guys, I'm just like, let's let them have it. So yeah, we'll see. But I got a good game plan for this fight, and it'll end in a stoppage.
What do you think your greatest asset will be coming up to heavyweight?
Let me think. It depends what heavyweight I'm boxing. Yeah, it depends what heavyweight I'm boxing. But I think a mixture between reactions and I think it depends. Like I said, it really depends which heavyweight. So if I'm boxing a really big heavyweight, it'll be movement. If I'm boxing like the same size heavyweight, it'll probably be speed. If I'm boxing a smaller one, then all of the above. But yeah, like I said, it depends which one. I kind of have to translate what I do in training to sort of bring the best out.
How do you think Daniel Dubois approaches a fight with Joseph Parker?
He kind of has to do it the same way he's done all these other fights lately, which is really consistent pressure with the jab and sort of punching with him. Yeah, that's his best option, because I think Parker's got the one of the worst kind of styles for someone like Dan, where he's been in there with Zhang, he's been in there with Wilder, who are 2 massive punchers. Although they are long punchers, he nullified them and sort of got the decision against both. So it's very possible that he could do the same with Dan, unless Dan's able to, get to him.
I was saying this to Frank when the fight got announced. Like Dubois a few years ago when he boxed Joe Joyce, even the Usyk fight down the stretch when he got deterred. If he was in there with Joseph Parker, then he might get deterred if he was losing a few rounds. But this Daniel Dubois, whatever's coming at him, he just seems to go forward and steamroll them and not think too much.
Yeah.
That seems to be his actual greatest strength.
Agreed. But like I said, listen, we'll have to wait and see because, in his recent fights, it's been big heavyweights that they're going to slow down and he'll start being able to touch them. And when Dan starts touching people, he knows one thing he can do is punch. So although he's not take away from his boxing ability, I just wonder if Parker's sort of going to be just a little bit too far out of range, then in range, then a bit too cute to sort of nullifying the rounds start escaping you, and then you start having to get a KO as opposed to boxing towards one. So I think it's a potential, if you can call a former world champion a banana skin, it's a potential banana skin, but at the same time he might surprise us and just catch him and take him out as well.
Who are you leaning towards?
Who am I leaning towards? I'm leaning towards Dubois because obviously he's great run of form. It's a tough one. It's a hard one to say, really, because I can see how either one of them wins quite easily, if you can call it that, yeah.
Why was Joseph Parker named, even before you actually officially moved up there? I remember speaking to you at Selhurst Park after CBS React War 2, and you said, Joseph Parker's a name, I'd love to get him there. What is it about Joe Parker?
He's got great accolades, and the attributes he has over most heavyweights, I would have over him, which is speed and athleticism in terms of moving in and out of range and stuff like that. So it kind of for example, I have that over. So you know what I was saying to you before, which is like I'd have maybe speed of hand, speed of foot over most heavyweights. But if I boxed a heavyweight that had better speed in the hand, I'd have to have better punching power and this, that, and other. Where I feel like, although what's name's a good puncher, I don't think he's like the most ridiculous heavyweight puncher. I just liked it in terms of stylistically. It was a high level fight where I believed it was like I could win comfortably.
You surprised Daniel called out Jake Paul?
Did he? Did he actually though?
Messaged him on Instagram.
Did he actually message him? Because I saw a thing before where it said like, on his Insta, here's a good like strong post or something like that. Like on Dan's Insta, it got posted. Like someone else said this is the caption to put. Like here's anyway, you don't know, so it don't matter. But so I always wonder if he actually runs his own Instagram or not.
But it's come from his account, so he must have
so
approved
the team or who knows. But what do I think of it? I think we all know that certain parts are never going to happen. Jake Paul's not going to box the heavyweight world champion. So yeah, think what you will.
Last one as well. On that same card that Dubois Parker's happening, surely you're going to have a close eye on Zhang Caballero, two guys that you want as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's obviously I need to win this fight. I don't want to get carried away, but winning this fight gets me the WBC silver, and I've been a WBC world champion, so it puts me in a position where, if I'm able to be successful in this fight, the next fight or the fight after that, it's got to be one of them or a world title.
Listen, Lawrence, go well this Saturday at Wembley Arena, live on TNT Sports, and then, I'm sure I'll probably see you out in Riyadh in February.
Let's go.